Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Fallout New Vegas. I feel like at least when I'm in an area that is going to be darker, it might just be better to start every episode on this screen to allow people to adjust their brightness. Uh, Again, this is what they intended as far as the visual experience. And for my new monitor that is just brighter, it looks very good, but looking at my older monitors, it definitely doesn't look that good.
Please remember visiting hours
It's
are from
super
10 a.m.
dark.
until 5 p.m. Please show your badge or make your way out of the building.
Okay, what time is it? Alright, so we will wait 6 hours and just go in during visiting hours. Okay. And then just right back in. Of course, we have to turn the flashlight back on. Now, you can see a little bit of a fog in the dust. So, fiends, I guess, will probably very quickly become overburdened with items. Okay. Yeah. I think we are overburdened now. So Fiend Warrior helmet. Fiend Warrior helmet. Raider Badlands armor. There we go. Well, in Robco, we have managed to have 2 companions, which makes me wonder how many companions could we really have. Let's go ahead and see if we can lockpick this and get some experience, and then hack the terminal, because I think you can do both. Like, that's a rarity. This terminal almost certainly would be behavior. 2 correct. Would modified match 2 being correct in the right spot. There's an I in the same spot, and so that would only be like 1 correct. Released, it's only 1 correct. Realized, it's like only 1 correct. Residing, 2 correct. So I'm assuming it's the second E and the third to last I. Alright, so that didn't work, but whatever, we'll just exit out and we'll try again. There's a whole website that will do this for you, so you don't even really have to set in a mod. You could just have the website open and type in some things. Planning. Alright, so we now know it's not portions. We know it's not pounding. Planning and pristine, if it was the P that was the same. Portable is a possibility, but we know it's not that. We know it's not that. We know it's not that. It's not anything ing. Personnel. So portable and personnel sound like they're correct. Caravans is all the way out of in a different direction. So caravans makes it seem like it couldn't be ceremony. Yeah. Persists. Try again. We want this XP since, with the exception of doing quests, you don't really get any XP otherwise. You get inconsistent amounts. Pristine. Okay, that's probably then something that is ending ing. Trusting. Finally. Took a lot of times there. And all that would have done is disengage the lock. So you either have the opportunity to hack or lockpick. And then that is going to get us into what I assume is the security office here. And I feel like we're going to be doing a decent amount of hacking. So finally my science may pay off, and it's probably no surprise that they have put a system, a dungeon, effectively, that requires hacking fairly late into the game. I feel like we're at least approaching the halfway point, very possibly even further than that, 2/3 of the way done. Bartering. Okay. So 3 are wrong, which means arranging can't be it. Sacrifice can't be it. Merciless can't be it. Swiveling can't be it. Wandering might be it. Yeah. I am confused now as far as what were the 2 extra things. I'm not even sure what to guess now. I guess we'll go troubling. And then only one was right on troubling. So I was way off on the wrong thought process. And boy, is it not going to be entertaining to sit here for an hour just hacking things. So let's try to be as quick as possible. If only one is correct in that, then let's see, is recognize even got one correct? No. Would residents have even one correct? No. Would terrified have one correct? Yes. So we'll add our user facial database. So now we have first floor access. And then I guess that means we probably won't fight robots, which is probably a smart move because Eddie, our companion, has been very powerful, so if other robots are as powerful, then it would be fairly difficult fights. So we're working our way up to 3rd floor access. Seems to be our quest. And then I would just question if maybe, well,
Valid facial pattern detected.
alright, yeah. These are microfusion cells? Yeah. So it feels like the game is trying to give us every excuse possible as far as how we would end up with some laser guns and bullets that we could actually use. Come on. I know I picked up some stuff. Probably need to transport back to Good Springs and just drop some elements. Alright. So we don't have the lockpick to do this, and we don't have the science to do that. Let's look at our stats and let's see where we really are on that. Science is at 65, so I could get it to 85, and lockpick is at 57, so it's even lower. I could get it to 77. Both of these wanted 100. So I would assume what's going to have to happen is we're going to have to take the long way around.
How may I say? Welcome to Repcon headquarters, Rocketeer. Come all this way to see our little facility, have you? I'm here to answer any and all questions you may have, within specified parameters. And if you'd like, I can provide a tour of our museum.
Alright, I think we'll just take the tour, see if that gives us an achieve.
Provided your query is limited to Repcon history, research and development, or Robco. Repcon's illustrious history began way back in 2054, shortly after the famous Delta 11 rocket was completed and launched. Repcon's initial focus was on the development of fuel to be used in orbital propulsion in response to the energy crisis of 2052. Sad times indeed. The company really took off when Robco purchased Repcon in late 2076 to develop unmanned rockets to explore the solar system. Very well. Feel free to ask me more about Repcon at any time. Don't be shy. The tour showcases Repcon's amazing scientific contributions and the promise of many more, coupled with its parent company, Robco. Excellent, excellent. Please be patient. The tour will begin in just a moment. Ready for the Repcon tour, Rocketeers? Courtesy of the fine folks at Robco,
I wonder if this guy will just start attacking like rad roaches or something as we take the tour. Or if he'll just tell us a bunch of craziness. Pause now if you want to read that.
The headline case behind me is a spent radioactive rod from one of our old reactors. No need to stand too close. Let's move along, shall we?
Yeah, I'm gonna basically assume you're just going to
Look here.
have to pause and...
Multicolored plasma fuels. Careful, they may look safe to drink, but your stomach is the last place they should be. Why the difference in cylinder size? Refining our production methods has resulted in higher yields of fuel over time. That's why.
This seems like this is a very generic model. It does not really match.
To my right, you can see a sample of some old safety barrels Repcon once used to store radioactive waste. Perfectly safe. On my left is an example of a mountain of Repcon safety barrels some legislators claim are poisoning our environment. Ridiculous.
So all the radioactive barrels we see around are from Repcon. And what this really is going to point you to is the other location we've already visited.
Behind me is our most recent rocket project, which we're keeping under our hats until launch, if you'll pardon the expression. And in front of me is a model, not actual size, of the launch dome we are using to send our rockets screaming into orbit.
So we've already done the Ready Set Launch quest, and that's where we got the map marker for this location. So this is probably going to be connected directly to that. There may not be too much interesting left in this area.
Feel free to read the plaques and learn, Rocketeers.
Reading all of this is not really telling us anything as far as map markers or adding new quests. It's not going to increase our intelligence from the looks of it. Here's an iBot, not kidding.
The highlight of our tour. Due to a generous donation from Robco, this next exhibit showcases the wondrous world of robots. Around you are the incredible iBot, the fearsome SentryBot, and the always helpful Mr. Handy. That helpfulness runs through our whole line.
And see, again, this feels like this should be some kind of tutorial section.
This is the final stop on our tour. This model of our solar system is a small example of where the partnership between Robco and Repcon hopes to go. See those little rockets zipping about? They are manned by robots, tirelessly looking for resources to mine on planets beyond our own. And
So this looks just like the real solar system.
Partner Repcon, thank you. Any further questions? Please feel free to ask.
So I'm not expecting nothing surprising there, really. But yeah, if Starfield is supposed to be in the same universe as Fallout, which maybe they've made some Easter eggs to that effect or not, all that would really mean is that the humans in Starfield would have had to have left Earth far before the Fallout universe really started to be the way we expect it and the way we see it.
How may I serve you, mistress?
This is, again, just like a really great location to have visited a lot earlier and get some backstory to. Now, I don't think we have second floor access, so, and the internal lighting here is definitely a mess. So we found the security key card. If we look at miscellaneous quest items, so this is just like a server room that we found the key card for, which we needed to find that. And we may just decide to kill the robots on the way out anyways. Would give me a good excuse to get some XP. There's basically nothing in the gift shop. Couple bottle caps. And empty soda bottles. Pre-warm honey. Need a 75 to pick that. Okay. Let's see if we can do this. We should have something that would increase our lockpick, but we may not actually have any magazines to do that. Nope, we don't have a magazine that would increase our lockpick skill. So the idea and the hope and what you would want in any game is for that to let you level up to reach to that area.
How may I serve you, mistress?
Either level up or find a key. I could go science.
Valid facial pattern detected.
$100 here, $100 here. So even if I read this magazine, that wouldn't help me any. Let's investigate this section. There is quite a lot of bathrooms in Fallout 3 and absolutely nothing of interest in any of them. So if you were going to spend energy to design them, there probably should be some level of consistency more than just you can drink water from them. Of course, if I wasn't playing on very easy and the thirst mechanic really played a role, then it would start to make some sense to have so many bathrooms where you could drink radioactive water. Let's go up here and see what they're going to say now on the second floor. Yeah, you have a bathroom with the walls broken down. That too could have played a good role. Nikola Tesla and you. More hacking. Just the word loan. 2, correct. So year couldn't be it. Zone couldn't be it. Clan could be it. Now they say that's easier, but actually I think less words makes it harder. But maybe it doesn't. Second floor access is now unlocked. And we can pretend to read all of this. It does seem like there might be some corporate espionage. Somebody stealing information, sending it to somebody else. Right. It may very well be that there isn't actually too many robots on the second floor anyways. If that turns out to be the case, then that will work fine. Seems like you could almost just run away from them and hide.
Hello, Mrs. Millet. I hope you have an excellent day at work today.
My security key card, I think, also may have already allowed me to wander around. I still just do not get it as far as all the crafting materials. Like, this would be the way up.
Of course, of course. Don't let me keep you. Of course, don't let me keep you.
Trying to find everything, and it's going to be pretty difficult to know for certain that we've been everywhere and searched everything. Wonder what the story there is. It's hard to believe that the bombs would have fallen and people would have just immediately died at their desks, and then the rest of the buildings would only be as damaged as they are. Now inherently what's going to suck is if we need XP, which we probably won't, we would have to run through the entire game a second time for every place that is locked. More realistically, we won't need XP, and leaving. Yeah, if it's anything like my experience in Fallout 3, even once you have the DLC, even though the DLC gives you 5 extra levels, you still end up hitting your max level cap, and then once you've just seen all of the story, it's not worth it to it's not worth it to run around and see the small rooms. You kind of know that there's how can I have 2 correct? Like, it seems like almost everything would need more healing and working. So it's not the IN. Yep. What you probably want in a modern game is behind every locked door there needs to be a unique bespoke weapon, something that is of a legendary class. And notice that they don't really have classes of items or anything like that. In this game. So 2 separate things match between cousins and dropped, because none of those are correct. We know it's not anything that's IN. Would uranium be correct? Man, I'm failing multiple times on these. But yeah, if behind every locked door was a unique electric weapon, and there really were only electric weapons locked behind there, or a unique epic class weapon of some sort, feels like the game just got bored of me trying at that point. Let's read this encrypted message. So there is some corporate espionage going on here. But we kind of don't even have a quest to find out about the corporate espionage. This is just backstory if you want to do all this reading. Which obviously, by modern standards, you would want a Bioshock element here, where there's just a lot more audio recordings. So a note has been added to the quest. Yeah. Music playing in the background is kind of unique. It really doesn't make the most sense that there'd be ammunition boxes all over the place. Unless you're saying raiders actually filled this place with ammunition boxes.
Hello, Mrs. Millet. I hope you haven't.
But actually the story is that this is a universe where they were so over-prepared for invasion that it was everybody's patriotic duty to have bullets available and ready to go. Like they really were going to take down invading forces. How did I get here? I came in this hallway. And so there's two different ways up. And I'm still trying to search. Second floor security card. Now. I'm getting closer and closer to science skill of 75. It's probably not worth it to read a magazine, but I do think we found a book that might have been a permanent upgrade. Let's just drink a bunch of those. Guess not. Now Nikola Tesla and you. That increases your energy weapons by 4. Notice we're not picking up any items, really. Except for we did pick up some guns. It seems like we only have one of each. Plasma rifle does 32 DPS, this one does 39 DPS. This one does 62 DPS. I'm gonna go ahead and equip this. And let's see we're probably going to go on a killing spree of all the robots on the way out, just for experience.
How may I serve you, mistress?
Can we get the local map to see how well we're doing? Top floor there, main floor, top floor, main floor. So we came in this way. We didn't really investigate this bathroom. Came in that way, we went through there, we hacked, came through this door, we investigated this. We've seen, I think, everything over here. And then, pretty sure we saw everything over here. And we saw that this is a way up. And then this door we can't open. Which you would think, like, you can't even force it open or blow it up with a grenade or shoot it with a shotgun. Like, there's obviously some new systems you could put in this to modernize this so that no player is left behind, instead of just rewarding players who would have stupidly put all of their skill points into lockpicking. Now it would be different if this was New Game Plus content and it was supposed to be you come on the second playthrough and you find new really powerful elite level weapons in those areas, but it's not what really happens. So I want to go up here. My thought is, if we... not going to find anything of interest in the ovens ever. If we sneak around here... the thought is that this might give us an area where we can find a key card pretty quickly before we run into a robot. Video game wise, you would kind of expect.
Hello, Mrs. Millet. I hope you have an excellent day at work today.
Well, forget that. Mrs. Millet's key card seems to work on the top floor anyways. Anyways, what I was saying is, video game wise, it should be more difficult.
Third floor access is for executives only. Please identify.
Let's see. My luck won't work.
Incorrect. Security alert. You have 30 seconds to vacate before security is alerted.
Okay, 30 seconds. Science magazine, very hard. Let's see. So why did one robot let us go through? Here we go. So now we have security bots showing up. And as far as I can tell, my laser gun here not really doing much. So this seems like this is probably Mrs. Morgan's computer. Because I didn't need a code to get into it. Well, the game did play out exactly like I would have hoped it would have played out. This is a weird room to have nothing in it. It is now seeming like we're going to just be punished with an alarm going off forever. Brotherhood of Steel, power armor. We will definitely take that. And how about we give it to you?
Ooh, got something good for me? Is it a dress?
Let's see. Take that laser rifle. Take that. I'll try this rifle. Take the power armor. Take the pre-war hat. Unless I was gonna give a bunch of sunset sarsaparillas to her. So yeah, I don't think you would want to give Nuka-Colas or sunset sarsaparillas to her. You just want to drink all those. I could get rid of a bunch of lead. I don't think bullets have any weight. So what is weighing me down so much? Very confused as to just... It's got to be all the Nuka-Colas. And sunset sarsaparillas. No, just give me all the Nuka-Colas. Come over here. We will 3946, we'll equip that. And then use all of these Nuka-Colas. They'll give me radiation. And then drink even more sunset sarsaparillas. And I don't know how much radiation we really have, but we'll take a rat away anyways. And I guess that will fix some of our weight problem. Not much of our weight problem, though.
Ooh, got something good for me? Is it a dress?
Just give her more Brotherhood of Steel armor. This is second floor Repcon. Yep. Now these guys seem like they're not really trying to attack me yet. I don't know if it really is even worth it to target the you can see my not accomplishing much here with my gun. Are we supposed to work our way around a different way? Now what I don't want to have happen here is do we get XP killing these? Yes. I want to lose my companion. So where is Eddie? Eddie is here. Veronica is here. We've got our two companions. Science skill of 100. I don't think anything would stop the alarms from going off at this point. And this is where we started. We started here, snuck in here, and if I had been able to hack this, then we wouldn't have had the sentry bots apparently coming out of nowhere, which that is definitely what it feels like. So I'd assume that these doors are just monster closets and have the sentry bots come out of them. The other assumption, though, is this has got to be some kind of secret elevator to something else, because it doesn't make any other sense. Like, there's second floor, so unless you were going up to go down, yeah, seems to me like we either would have needed to find a note here, find that the Brotherhood of Steel was investigating this. Okay. So this needs science 100. Our stats, as far as science right now, would be 65. So it'd only be 85, unless reading 2 Programmer's Digest at once gets my science up to 100. No, it doesn't. That only gets your science up to 85. So that was a waste of a Programmer's Digest. Again, this feels like this is either a monster closet or a security drone would be. Yeah, this wasn't here either. So these are all secret panels that open up when the security bots are released. Interesting. So then this may just be more security panels. And it definitely felt like getting into the safe was the trick. And activating that terminal. Because there's a lot of opportunities to open that safe. Okay. Let's go back down the way we didn't go down. We'll just see what the rest of these people want to say.
Hello, Mrs. Millet. I hope you have an excellent day at work today.
We'll grab flamer fuel and we'll just massacre all the robots on the way out. I don't think there's really anything else to be done. Crafting still doesn't make a lot of sense. Imagine the maintenance robots aren't going to have any information for me or be able to repair things for me. Now we came down this door to the main floor. Let's check our local map. Let's see. Main floor, top floor, top floor. Let's go the other way down. I am getting experience for this, so it still does make some sense. So I've now gotten the Lord Death perk. Let's see what that perk does. Damage bonus against everything because you like killing everything. Alright, I will take it. Top floor. Behind me should be the main floor. Now, did I get that perk because it's funny, the map seems to indicate that there would be a panel here in the whole room. Main floor office is locked. Oh, so that was the locked main floor. So we even know where that leads. And it indicates to me that there would be an opening here in the wall, and there isn't, weirdly. So the map and the design are wrong.
Valid facial pattern detected.
And these not being living creatures, or at least as far as we know they're not living creatures. Yeah, nothing seems like it's going to get into shipping though. So it seems like we're going to have a quest that brings us back to this whole section later.
Trouble. Planetarium key. Yep. So that was a lot of XP.
But there clearly was a way in which you could have just run around this entire area without fighting anybody. But you don't get any XP for doing that, so I don't know why you would choose that path. Even if you were going for a pacifist role, I think you'd probably make an exception for getting 25 XP every time you kill robots. Like, I don't even care whether this is getting me flamer fuel or not. Simply grinding to level up. Okay. And then there's this whole building has a shipping section that we can't get into, and it doesn't seem like there's another door on the back side of it. Veronica is just using her power fist to kill these. So Eddie is staying behind with his laser. Veronica's running forward, the power fist. That gives me every opportunity to be in the middle, where I'm fairly safe. I guess the question to ask would be, is there some advantage to using laser weapons? We will move our marker here, and we're still not really on a quest. Survey the ruins at coordinate 00049265. Let's see if we can find that on the world map. Well, 0004 and then 9265 might be right there, but it honestly would probably be in a corner somewhere, assuming our map has anything close to their map. So that note doesn't make any sense to me. See if we could talk to Veronica about anything.
What's up?
Tell me about yourself.
I like long walks in the desert and candlelit metal workshops.
You know, this voice actress, I think this is kind of a somewhat famous, nerdy, red-headed voice actress. I can't remember her name. She shows up as a character, I believe, called Charlie in Supernatural TV series, 3 or 4 episodes. She was the face of Geek and Sundry as a YouTube channel originally, and has now been pretty much completely expunged from the history of Geek and Sundry, and it's not worth watching Geek and Sundry. She seemed like she might be more of that geeky up and coming actress, but she didn't get enough roles and didn't get enough parts to become famous enough, and didn't do enough to become famous enough. And that a lot of it is who you know, certainly, and she just didn't seem to know the right people.
I like punching things, but sometimes shooting things just has to do. Yeah, I've been taking things apart and putting them back together since before I said my first word. You want to build something? Talk to me, and we can do it right there on the spot. Workbenches are for novices. Who knows? I might even be able to show you a Brotherhood trick or two.
So let's exhaust all the dialogue.
He was dead when I got there. It pays like ass, but it's hard to get other work with my skill set. What do you want to know?
In fact, her face looks like that character too, so this may be a cameo character. Her name's not Veronica, though.
Good question. These days, it's hard to say. Once upon a time, it was about technology, controlling it so it couldn't destroy us again. Energy weapons and power armor are usually tops on our list, although I appreciate anything that's vintage. But that all seems so limited now. We haven't grown or adapted, and now we're stuck in a hole, not carrying out our mission. More sexual favors than I can even count. I am still tired from it. No, actually, you're born into it. My parents, their parents, so on. When you're young, you can choose to leave, but it's home, so most people don't. We don't take on new members, really. You can do the math on our long-term prospects based on that point. I keep hoping we'll change that.
Now, the funny thing is, with the name like the Brotherhood of Steel, you would think it would be all males. But in the Fallout TV series, they also have some female characters, so I'd assume that it isn't, or never really was described as being all males. But then the Brotherhood of Steel is a bad name. It should be something more like the Fellowship of Steel.
I'm a procurement specialist. Like I said, it's basically grocery shopping, except sometimes the groceries are scavenged parts and arcane technology. The elder who brought us to the Mojave, Father Elijah, usually had me looking for these old memory units, but he'd never tell me what they were for. Nowadays, I'm usually sent to do business with traders at places like the 188, but sometimes I think it's just to keep me out of everyone's hair. I know sometimes I sound like I don't, I know, but there's something that still rings true to me about our code. There's an honor to it. We're protecting people, even if it's from themselves. It's a good cause. We just lose sight of the big picture sometimes, treat all our practices with the same sacredness. Ah, the Codex. If it's in there, we have to abide it. If it's not not important. It documents our history too. Part of what scribes like me do is update it. I wonder... Nah, they'd probably catch it if I rewrote the Founder's axioms. No. We only protect people from themselves, and only in the sense that we don't let them have the really good pre-war toys. And sometimes it's more like we protect ourselves from them and hope to outlive them and become humanity's sole heirs. We've had people go rogue, though, and start helping people. One chapter had a small civil war over it. We take our isolationism seriously. He was our elder.
A lot of backstory here.
A wizard with technology,
you can
really.
have.
His mind just worked that way, naturally. I learned a lot from him. But he started having disagreements with the other elders. The Brotherhood's interest is in old technology. He wanted to explore developing new tech. And there were other ways he wanted to push, other weapons, ones with ethics questions attached. Rather than deal with him, they sent him east. Darn it! I had... See you around.
So, yeah. It's funny to say goodbye, because they're still going to follow you. That's just ending the conversation. So there's a real feeling that the Brotherhood is different in the East versus the West. We have another train station. It looks like it may not really be much different. Just a bunch of pre-war money, it looks like. One of the things I could certainly see being improved upon is just the boarded up windows. It would be nice if there were skyboxes in modern games, and certainly in modern games there's more reason for there to be skyboxes where you'd actually see people outside. If we could at least take that first step instead of it feeling like it is a completely different world with load screens. That would be nice. Now the next step, instead of having boarded up windows, would be to also have enemies who can spot you through the windows and who can and would shoot at you through the windows. I don't know what the deal with these plants are. You can't shoot them. So we're looking this way and we can kind of see Black Mountain and Sloan and Quarry Junction, and these are all areas we kind of missed. And then we're slowly going to work to Camp McCarran. And the thought, I think, is the Death Claws are somewhere this direction. Yeah, we can see something over there. We can see train tracks over there. But I think the more logical move is to just kind of investigate these buildings. It's a pretty sharp contrast to start to see the desert wasteland have little spots of all of this. Alright, so we could...
The Kaisar has marked you for death, and the Legion obeys. Ready yourself for battle.
Boy, that took a while. Okay, that weapon proving to be really useless. Let's see. Let's try this.
Retribution.
This is doing nothing at all. It is so pointless. Like, I do want to be collecting Legionnaires. Just gonna be over encumbered here for a second. It really has become a case while playing very easily on very easy mode that now I am being held up not by one but two different companions. So if there ever is a point here where I need to fight on my own, I'm going to be really messed up. There's no way I'm going to be able to take that on. Now I thought there was 4 people. I can only really initially see 3. So where'd number 4 go? It's behind this bush. Okay, once again, can our repair abilities do anything for us? Or should we just drop things? Centurion armor. Like, all this armor is valuable. But I can't do anything with it. Let's talk to Veronica.
You're making me carry the heavy stuff, aren't you?
She's dead on about that. Hmm. Hmm.
Hey, I can't really move now, but I'll follow you in spirit.
Did I over encumber her? Okay. So yeah, she's almost fully full of stuff. Rock flower. That's that. Healing powder. Still just need to drink a ton of sunset sarsaparillas. Yeah, I still just do not get this. Yeah, just give them all the lead. Why make the player waste so much time with all this stuff? Now, where were we? I think we were possibly investigating this to find that there was nothing here. I think one of the things you could do is, see, you have all these like walls blocking your way and then they don't really add any value to it. So if you just had the buildings like broken up so they were very low studs that you could just walk right over always, just so you had the vision of a bombed out building without having a fence that would actually stop your path, I think that would be better. Considering in part because these are just nothings. In contrast, here you have a bush that blocks your vision, but it doesn't block your path. Just a general assumption that your player can step over or step through things as they could move. We may be hitting a point on the map. Like, we're not really that close to Camp McCarran. So we may hit a point where there's just a giant wall blocking all of New Vegas, with the exception of 1 or 2 entrances, exits. And that concept of a more walled city would mean something. Hearing a lot of bullets flying. Fiends. Not sure what really killed the fiends though. Let's go into this abandoned warehouse. We can see a bunch of Brahmin, which makes me suspect that there is a trade caravan. Interesting, that door doesn't open. And this is a complete dead end. So you would think there would be a human somewhere here. Somebody guarding or protecting the Brahmin. Unless this is just another place where the Brotherhood of Steel is supposed to show up at some point and we just haven't moved the main story forward enough. It does seem like maybe our companion is going to lead towards the Brotherhood of Steel taking a more active role in the area. Now, we really wouldn't be surprised if the Enclave never really shows up at all. We've heard them mentioned. There's, it looks like a decent amount of items in this whole area, but none of it's particularly special. The most unique things we've seen are the uninteractable slot machines. So yeah, I don't know what you're supposed to do when you see something like this. You see some NCR troopers. They must have been the ones that shot the fiends. Seeing buildings that look like they're inaccessible. Seeing some radiation. I don't even get extra XP for killing the fiends myself. Okay. Well, we have 17 points here. We can't get it to 100 on everything. But we can get science to 75. And that still wouldn't be high enough, so we'd have to put all of science up to 80. Which that seems like a lot. Or we get lockpick up to like... Can we get lockpick up to 75? Because that would be a little bit more valuable. No. So we bump science up to 80 and then we would leave it at 80 for now. And then we can put the rest of the skill points into lockpick. Yeah. Or guns. Let's just go with guns. So now we can do energy weapons perk. Or just more intensive training. And I question if there's ever going to be an argument against just doing more intensive training. Some of these perks would be fun to have, but the logic really says just keep on doing intensive training until you can't do any more. And I think my move is still to increase endurance. I'd love to increase strength, certainly. I don't know if we really would need to do perception, charisma, intelligence is at 9. That's as high as we want to get it. And we want to get our endurance up as high as possible so that we can upgrade these special stats a different way later on. My perception's too good, frankly, in this game. I see enemies that are very, very far away. And then that makes me want to run and attack them, and then that makes me run far too far in the distance. Yep. I'm seeing a lot of gunfire happening there. But this is not being marked as a location yet. You could fast travel to, so I'm wondering if this is supposed to be just the outskirts of
Hello.
a location. Far too much of this where you have the back of a truck and then there's nothing in the back of a truck. I think part of the problem with this game is that they have positions where things can be, but aren't always. So it determines if you're full of items or if you're low on items, and then decides from that point whether something will spawn. That's my thought. So I wonder if this isn't just the way a lot of the environments are going to be, where there will always be small skirmishes between fiends and NPC and Legion and NPC. Again, it feels like if I just went down this direction, I would reach Sloan. They were saying there was death claws that way. So it seems like this is just fiend territory. Which I can actually hurt fiends to some level. Alright, who threw the grenade? Who threw the grenade? Did I give a grenade to Veronica? And the game crashed. Alright, so that's going to be fairly devastating as far as the loss goes. And yeah, I suppose this is probably as good of a place as any to end this episode. So this will inevitably load me, I imagine, as I'm walking out of that area. Yeah. Did the day and night time change? Goo pile.
Checking in with the base, huh?
So there's just a goo pile of somebody who's been turned into goo. It does make more sense to run around the edge here and see if we can get into the fort. It seems like it might be a very big place, the equivalent of a large Brotherhood of Steel location in Fallout 3. The problem with that location was it was just way too big. So this is die NCR. Still a lot of cussing on the graffiti, which, while maybe realistic, is just also not very helpful or necessary. This game is very violent, but its violence would be easily overlooked by most parents or concerned family members in general if there wasn't the cussing. They're way more upset about the cussing, I'm sure. El Rey Motel. So, found the second motel. Let's see.
Howdy. Prim as a new sheriff. That should keep the powder gainers away. Prim as a new sheriff. That should keep.
That's something we did a long time ago. Not sure if this one is actually dead or not. It's visually glitching. Okay. Medicine is 60. Science to 79. Science to 80. Intensive training. This is endurance. Changed it up a little bit. A little stranger. Strange to come into an area and it just have be overrun. I don't know why Veronica's in pain. Her HP is low. Wow, she almost died there. This guy, you don't even need to use a stim pack on, ever. Now I don't know if Veronica got poisoned by the rad scorpions. You would think there might be something interesting in this room since we lockpicked it, but no, you just have the Wastelander. Pre-war books, grimy pre-war businessware. Just kind of nothing here. It's pretty obvious that the lockpicking is only in existence to give you XP, to balance out a system that is just not well designed. Well, didn't even have really an opportunity to deal with that myself. Suppose if you're going to have a game with drugs, having drug addicts in the world and have it so that they would potentially attack you does make some sense. McCarran Field. Okay. So we finally made it to McCarran. We skipped all the way past that area. And this whole area does just feel like it is going to be much more walled in section. And here you have New Vegas instead of Las Vegas. So it was called Las Vegas. And so you could walk past McCarran Field down towards the strip. We have now discovered 50 locations.
You're making me carry the heavy stuff, aren't you?
Let's now see if we can grab all of our stuff and play a little mini hero, and then that'll be the end of this episode. Still doing way too much of all of this. The real assumption here is that this trader is even going to have a lot of items, and that we really are going to even be able to do too much. Hunting rifles. I should also consider if any of these guns are actually worth trying. Very obviously, you would fix the...
McLafferty's a hard boss, but she knows what she's doing, that's for sure.
You not trade with
Payday
me?
hits, I'm off to the strip. Can't wait. Uh-huh. The NCR appreciates good citizens like you.
Seriously. So,
Ooh, got something good for me? Is it a dress?
none of that is tradable with them. So we'll just throw everything we can. At her, as far as things to sell. Throw the higher. Cowboy repeaters 34. Probably shouldn't give her frag grenades and frag mines because I think she threw those. Probably shouldn't give her dynamite for the same reason. This hunting rifle is 46 damage per second. This one is 34. lasers are useless. Service rifle. So service rifle is 11 at 56, but this is 46. That does 38 damage. Oh, so it's much slower, I guess.
Aw, you shouldn't have. It's just my taste. Thank you.
Okay. Clearly, a big part of this is holding on to like armor. I guess if I have two companions now, and I'm gonna keep them, it seems like, for a while, splitting things up where food is in one character's inventory and other items are in another character's inventory might work fairly well. Although it might make more sense to give food to the human who could potentially eat them. I thought we were going to do more there, though. Thought we were going to be able to trade, and we'll probably are going to trade when everything's said and done. It seems like it's a fairly empty place. And as far as quests go, like Fort McLaren really isn't on any of the quests. So I assume it's going to be more of a quest giving location. That would be how I would expect this all is going to play out. I don't think we've increased our action points even once. And we're at level 14. There's still a lot of room for a lot of upgrading. And yeah. It may very well get to the point where we get everything close to 100, or as close as we feel like it's safe to get to 100, and then we're going to start pouring skills into things like energy weapons or explosives, just because there won't be anything else to pour them into. And that may unlock more perks to consider, at least. Yeah, it's been another, I would say, 45 minutes, and it seems like all we really did was walk from here, do a little bit of a dungeon here without really having a mission to tell us why we were doing a dungeon here, and then walk to here, totally missing this section here. We also have Vault 34, which I wouldn't be surprised if the Brotherhood of Steel is there. There's Ranger Station Foxtrot, and it seems like we may just end up going that way. Maybe the strip itself is actually way up here, which I'd be surprised if that was the case. And increasingly, there's less reason, it feels like, to not investigate these sections. I think we still have yet to see a death claw. But yeah, in the next episode we'll see if we get some new missions that have us run around this top half of the map more. That's what I would expect would happen, and that we would just be in another phase of gameplay. But yeah, that is going to be it. Let's make a hard save, even though we did just autosave. That's going to be it for this episode. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and keep on watching. Thanks.